everybody, this is Lil Ninja, and welcome back to another episode of Ninja's Empire. In the last episode, we built this magnificent lean-to thing, and also the slime farm that's under there, and it is producing just tons of slime, more than I will ever use. And I've been putting in quite a few hours in between episodes, just working around here. I finished lighting up the compound. I haven't done the roof, and I figured, mobs that spawn up there are sort of few and far between, and they won't be much trouble. But yeah, so no mobs can spawn inside these walls now except up on the roof. And but most of the time I spent was in the nether, running around. I did enchanting session, and I got this equipment here. I got a sword with sharpness 5, mending, unbreaking 3 on it. That's my daily sword. And I got this sword with smite 4, unbreaking 3, mending, and looting 3. And the looting 3 was what I wanted because I spent probably 7 or 8 hours in the nether at least running around the nether fortress hunting skellies. And we got all this stuff from that time. And a power 2 bow. And I collected these, and we got 18 wither skeleton skulls, which means we can make 6 withers. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to fight them out here in the open or maybe in the nether at the blaze farm. I've never fought one of these things before. I'm just kidding. I've never fought one of these before, but I'm not going to do that. In fact, because there's 6 of them, it would take a really long time to do it the normal way, and I'd have to go enchant a bunch of armor and probably make some potions, and it would just be a pain. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of a cheaty thing and go into the nether and use the sealing of bedrock to my advantage, and I'll show you how that's done in a bit. And here we are. And I watched a video on this, and I can't remember who did it, but I'll find it and put a link in the description if you want to see it yourself. But the key to this procedure is this 3x3 area of bedrock right here, and also the fact that withers can be spawned lying down. So if you spawn them like this, their feet will be here and their head will be up in the bedrock, which means they can't move and they can't shoot at you. And I'm going to turn my game sounds down because this could be loud. But yeah, so here goes my first wither fight on camera, I guess. I've never done this before, and I'm actually kind of scared. Please don't kill me. Probably make sure my food bar is full. Is he gonna blow up? Yeah, he's gonna blow up. Right. So now we just have to do this and kill him. That shouldn't be too hard. And then we have to do it 5 more times. Bam! We got another star. Oh, this is awesome. Okay, we can have beacons around the base now. And I left the other skulls and the soul sand down in the chest just to be safe. But I'm going to go get them and kill the rest of the withers and then craft the beacons and take them back home. And that's that. 6 withers, and I lost half a heart of health because I stood too close to one when it blew up. But it does feel a little cheaty, and eventually I want to fight one for real, but after I have better armor and stuff. And there were a couple things up here on the overworld that I forgot to mention. The library is gone, and also there was another house in this area that I removed, and I terraformed this hill, or I landscaped it, I guess. And now I've just been measuring out the compound, trying to figure out where to put the beacons, because I'm going to put them in 2 sets of 3, and the one will go here, and the other will go 100 blocks in that direction and a little bit off that way because the compound is sort of at an angle. And I don't have near enough iron. I have just this and those 3 ingots. And that iron farm, it's amazing, but is not fast enough for this because for one beacon to be a full beacon, it takes 164 blocks of iron. And then, so obviously you add on for the extra 2, and then you have to double that. So yeah, it's a bunch of iron. So I'm going to have to put in some more hours between the scenes and do a whole bunch of strip mining for iron. and I've been strip mining for a couple hours now, and I finally got enough iron to do one beacon, and I immediately set it to haste 2, which means that now we can insta-mine, and then I may have gone just a little bit mildly insane, I don't know, but yeah. Also, I broke my pickaxe. You know, remember my efficiency 5, silk touch, unbreaking 3, that one. And so I'm gonna have to run to the Nether and do an enchanting session before I can come back and mine for more resources. But we've already picked up all this stone and those resources and that stone, and I think there's a bunch of ore here too. Yeah, 8 diamonds and 63 iron. So it shouldn't take long now. I just have to go and get another good pickaxe, and then I'll come back and just mine out a gigantic area like this some more. Well, that didn't take long at all. And, you know, as I was going over there on that incredibly long trip through the tiny little tunnel that we have in the Nether, I remembered that all the rail we saved on the slime farm project, we can now use and make a nice transportation system over there, so no more walking back and forth from the portal to the blaze farm. But yeah, so now I'm just going to keep doing this for a while. And man, this is so satisfying. Like, there's just something about it. I just love doing it. Instamine is just, I love it. I don't know why. Especially after mining manually for so long. Like, the entire slime farm, I did that all without haste 2. And I don't know why I didn't do this first. But anyway, I'm going to keep doing this and clear out a bunch more area, and then hopefully get enough iron for the other 2 beacons here, and then the 3 on the other end of the property. So I just got back from going into the Nether to mend my pickaxe again, and I had enough of traveling back and forth, so I decided I'm going to do an enchanting session. And we have plenty of diamonds because of all the mining I've been doing, and so I got 3 identical pickaxes. They all have Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 5, Silk Touch, and Mending on them. So now we can mine for a lot longer, and then you know, do a big mending trip once in a while, and spend a little longer at it, but not have to travel so much, which is going to be really handy. So back to mining. Well, I've been doing a bit more mining. I actually have no plans for this area. I just really love insta-mining. And we have enough iron now for 2 beacons, and that one is set on haste. And we're just missing a few more blocks, so I'm going to finish this up. And I don't think I'm going to do the other end of the property in this area in this episode, because I mean this takes a long time, and I'm on a time crunch this week because I'm going on vacation on Thursday, and so I only have about half of my recording time. So yeah, I'm going to finish this one last beacon, and then we'll go to the surface and build something there. Well, that took forever, but I finally did it, and all 3 beacons are up now. And on the last one I put resistance and regeneration, and I should probably cover this up, or otherwise I'm going to fall to my death. But maybe I'll do some stained glass like black and red and white, because you know black and red are my colors. Anyway, the next thing I want to do is build a carrot farm, because while I was in the Nether fighting all those wither skellies and also digging out that hole, I burned through carrots like you wouldn't believe. And the iron farm produced a few carrots when I first built it, but it seems to have basically stopped now, or it's really slow. At any rate, it hasn't produced for quite a while, and of course when I was in the Nether it wasn't producing any. So I want to build a carrot farm, and the concept is going to be identical to the potato farm, if you remember how that was done, and it's going to go right on top of that building, which means we can use the same item transportation system as we did for the potatoes, and then we'll have to do like a little filter there to separate the carrots and potatoes, and put them into their individual storage system or slots. So the carrots will go there and the potatoes here. The first thing to do is to change up this center area in the potato farm. So the way it originally was that the villager with an empty inventory would stand right here with his feet where this block is, and then the water source block would be here, and it would flow back, and then the fence gate was where this block was, and so the water would flow over the fence gate and the items would drop down there. Problem is that's not stackable, because if you have the carrots dropping down from there, for one, you're not going to be able to keep your villager in a 1x1 hole. And the second thing is the villager is going to pick up the carrots, which means he won't have an empty inventory anymore, and it'll break the farm. So I had to move the whole back one, and now the way it works is that the fence gate goes there, except, well, where the torch is, I have to put a block in there, like that. And then the water flows up against the fence gate, and they drop down here, and then the carrots drop straight down from above. And so this makes the entire farm stackable, and we can do carrots, beetroots, and wheat eventually, except actually the wheat has a slightly different design. So anyway, I'm just going to close this back up, put the fence gate back in here, and I had to kill this villager because I was opening it up a little bit, and I was trying to get him to go onto the ceiling, but he managed to escape and came out here and got stuff in his inventory, and there was just no way I was going to empty all this out and wait for him to empty his inventory and then try to get him back in there. So it's just going to be easier to get a new one from over where the from over in the villager breeder. So I'm going to finish this up here and then duplicate it above the ceiling here. So this is actually not going to go directly onto the ceiling of the potato farm because this block is the one that is going to have the crop popping out of it, which means that there's a gap right there, and the villager with the empty inventory stands there, and I'm afraid that crops will get in there and break the farm. So I'm going to move the whole thing up so the dirt will be at this level, and I mean it shouldn't affect anything, it just makes the farm a little higher, and then the carrots drop right down there. So I just got done copying all the lighting and water from down underneath, and now I've got to go along and till everything, and then I've got to bring a villager over from over there and bring him in here and empty his inventory and drop him down in there to finish the potato farm. Then I've got to cover his head up and bring another villager over, empty his inventory, and put him up here, and then bring a third villager over, and the villagers that come out of the villager breeder have nothing but carrots in their inventory, which means that I can just stick him in here and let him go, and he'll start planting right away. So that's going to take a little bit of work. I'm going to have to make an exit out of the villager breeder and then bring a minecart all the way over here and up into here and till all this, and yeah, then farm should be ready to go. Okay, so now the farm is all tilled and it's hydrating, and I ran the rail over from the reject rail in the villager breeder, and one thing I can always be absolutely certain of, projects like this, I have enough of powered rail to go around. This is maybe half of what I have. Anyway, so they just come out of the ground right there, and I have 3 brown coat villagers in the system that I don't particularly want. So where am I going? I need to reject them. Let's see, there's a shepherd here. Yep, you go. And he should come out of here. Yep, there he goes. Right. Be safe. Don't die for no apparent reason. I don't know why he would, but you know how it goes. So now what I have to do is trap this guy in the farm with all the tilled soil, and I just follow him around, and as he plants stuff, I pick it up after him until he stops planting, and that's when I know his inventory is empty. And then I push him in there and get the next one and do the same thing and put him in there, and then I bring the third one over and just pop him in anywhere, and the farm is fully functional. Then I just put a lid on it. Okay, all the villagers are in the farm and it's working. He planted all 4 of the carrots that he had. And yeah, so now I've got to put a lid on it, and it's got to go up, I think it's 6 blocks above the villager's head, so that lightning doesn't strike him and turn him into a witch and he despawn. So I've got to go get more wood and cover this up and put a ceiling on here as well so that Endermen don't teleport in here. And then I've got to do the outside of this building, and it really doesn't go with the theme I finally ended up going with. And yeah, so I didn't worry about any of the decoration. I'm just putting on plain walls, and then I'll put on a shell on the outside, something that looks pretty nice. And I haven't actually decided what yet, but I mean it's going to be something similar to that, obviously. Now the tricky part, to come up with a design for the outside. I kind of want to make this square because I don't really like the way that looks, and there's a problem with that this wall here is too close. So what I'll probably do is make sort of like a double watchtower here and make this the southeast entrance, and then I can put a path going out that way and integrate this building into the wall here, and then square the corners on the front here and over there and also in that corner, and then have sort of like spires over there by the gate, and also maybe one in each corner, and make it sort of like it would look a little bit like maybe the entryway of a medieval castle. So I've been playing around with some different designs for a while, and a lot of people say that torches look messy, and so that's why I tried to use a glowstone, but I think that just looks like a little bit too much. And I just had an idea. If we use the bottom part of this and the top of that, so something like, let's see here, that looks fairly good. Okay, so now I'm going to build this here, and at that corner, and that corner, and the one over there. And this actually works out very nice. The wall is the same height as this building. So what I'm going to do is build like a sort of balcony just straight out all the way to the fence, and then come in here and take a wall up, and then do a roof that is similar to like a pagoda style roof, but simpler. So now the spires are all in place, and this is coming together really nicely. And I decided that I'm not going to put walls in here. I'm just going to do an open structure like a sort of pavilion, and then a roof on top, because well, there's going to be more farms going in here eventually, and so this roof is going to have to be destroyed and moved up or replaced with something else. And so I don't want to make something big and elaborate just to tear it down in a few episodes. So I'm going to do a sort of open style, run a beam across like this, and then do a gable on each side, and just put a roof on it. And it does need a roof because of lightning. If lightning strikes here, it could potentially turn the villager underneath into a witch, and then he would despawn. So I'm going to just put a fairly simple roof on here. It doesn't have to be anything real fancy. And then that will be this project done. Well, the roof is coming together nicely, and that is a really cool shape. And man, I declare this has been the most grindy episode I have ever done. It is just incredibly time consuming to place all these stairs. And so yeah, this whole thing will need to be covered up, and then we can move on to the next project. This shouldn't take more than about 5 hours. Of course, I was only kidding. That only took about 15 minutes to finish. But it looks pretty good for a temporary structure. And it's all lit up. You can see torches there so that no mobs spawn on the beams. And so yeah, that's the carrot farm done. The next thing I want to do is sort out this entryway. So maybe make like an arched doorway here, and then sort of a small dingy tunnel. Like this is a back entrance coming through here, and then some sort of gate, possibly automated, in here, because currently there are mobs wandering in here looking at our villagers. But that is going to have to wait till later because we are all out of time for today. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.